Scene 1.
Just think about it, Stefan. Here in Athens, in this great city-state, we are free to govern ourselves.
But Alexander, I'm not sure I understand this new idea of democracy. What is democracy?
Democracy is a new type of government in which we, the citizens, not the emperor, decides what is best. We are free to govern ourselves. What do you think, Rihanna?
I think it sounds fantastic. It would be great. Imagine me being able to participate in government.
Oh, I guess I better more further explain about our democracy here in Athens. Those who were citizens were free to vote, but at this time, women, slaves, and non-Greeks were not considered citizens.
What? Who gets to vote then?
Those of us whose fathers were Athenian citizens. I know, Rihanna, that our democracy is not perfect, but someday it may influence others around us. Right now in Athens, arts, literature, and philosophy are flourishing.
Hey guys, I hate to interrupt this discussion, but some guy looks like he has something important to tell us. He looks like he's been running for a while.
We have conquered. We have conquered. I, Philippides, have run 25 miles all the way from Marathon to tell you that we have defeated the Persians in the great battle of Marathon.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Oh no, I do think the messenger has died of exertion.
Don't worry, Rihanna. After delivering such great news, I'm sure his name will go down in history. I wonder if we will be remembered for anything we do.
I know, Alexander, you will be remembered as a great man. Only at the age of 20, you have conquered great lands. You made Greek 100 times bigger.
I agree with Stephen Alexander. The architecture, drama, and science we explore have made us stand out among other kingdoms. And now we, or I guess some of us, will get to govern ourselves.
I guess you're right, Rihanna. We Greeks really have changed the world. But still, to imagine someone remembering a man as Alexander the Great.
Scene 215. Excuse me, sir. Can you tell me where this road leads?
Why, certainly. It leads to where all roads in this empire lead.
And where is this?
It leads to one of the most powerful nations in all the land.
And what is the name of this powerful state which the roads lead to?
It is a glorious place called Pax Romana, where Pax Romana has lasted for over 200 years of Roman peace.
Why, thank you, sir.
Pilate.
Pilate, we have two criminals for you to make judgment upon. This first is Gustav of the Germanic tribes. He is accused of helping invaders take over our lands. The second is Jesus of Nazareth. He is accused of spreading falsehoods and troublemaking.
Well, let me see. What should I do? Neither of them impress me. Let me see. I've got it. I'm feeling a little charitable. So you, the one called Lisa, I will let you go as long as you promise to never return to my land.
I hope my Germanic... Boy, this guy is making a mistake. Dividing up the kingdom just makes it easier for us outside invaders to break in.
Now you, the one called Jesus, you will be condemned to die on a cross. Take him away.
But Pilate, why should we put this one to death when we let the other one go? Do you really think that is fair?
Yeah, I thought that we Romans had a gift for random laws so things like this won't happen.
Yeah, I know, but this idea of Christianity scares me. It's starting to get very popular. Maybe killing him will stop his followers from talking.
I knew this guy was making a mistake. Dividing up the kingdom just made it easier for us outside invaders to break in. Eventually, Rome will fall.
Scene 3.
Oh, Mama, what are we going to do? How will we survive without an emperor to guide us?
I do not know. Francois, what will we do? There are villains in the forest waiting to take our land and goods. I am scared. I don't know who will protect us.
I hear from the noble Lord Wolseley that the king from Edenland is offering protection in exchange for services. I asked him to talk to the king for me, and he said he would, but he had a few conditions.
What would those be?
You know, a few years ago, he lost his wife to the Black Plague. He is in need of a wife now to take care of his young children. Suzette here is 16 years of age and will be needing a husband soon. So we agreed that the marriage between the two of them would benefit both our families. He would talk to the king about Edward becoming a knight in exchange for Suzette's hand in marriage.
What did you do, Papa? I can't marry Lord Wolseley.
You must, Suzette. Imagine me a knight. Think of all the things I can do. I will fight off invaders in the kingdom and attend mass balls.
Yes, and do all the things you can do at my expense.
Suzette, you must be reasonable. Your marriage to Lord Wolseley will put us in high favor with the king, and the king is one with God. We must always put God first. And think about it. Your marriage will advance your brother in the king's court, and plus, perhaps your sister Katrina could become a lady-in-waiting for the queen.
I agree. After the fall of Rome, who knew what life had in store for us? The Black Plague almost killed us all. But now with the new system of feudalism, we can survive.
Good day, Lord Wolseley.
I have met with the king and arranged for young Edward's here to ride to the castle. The castle guards will be waiting for him. Katrina will come with Suzette and me, and she will become one of the ladies in waiting to become the queen. Suzette, are you ready to become my wife?
I guess I must. Scene 4.
Jeez, my arm is so tired of writing.
Won't the king hear you? It'll be off with your head. Haven't you heard about the absolute power he holds? Whatever he wants to do, law.
Yeah, I know. I just wish there was an easier way to do this.
Hello, my name is Jonas Gutenberg, and I recently read machine German that will help change the rosary north.
Will this machine help my friend out here? He's just complaining that he can't write any longer.
Yes, it will. I, Jonas Gutenberg, have invented a printing press. It will help us print books more quickly. Since we can do that, we can reach more people than we could before. Imagine the idea of this glorious time. The Renaissance ideals will be spread among the common people.
When can we get one here? Just imagine the spread of humanism being spread to all the people.
Yes, humanism. The idea that humans can change and influence the world around them.
So what do you think our marveling new colonies in America provide us with wealth? You're such a good tradesman. I hear Louis in France is building a monster of a summer home, and I want to keep it up. With all this extra money we have lying about, we can commission great works of art and music.
Yes, Armand, I do not want that little man outdoing us. Great Britain is one of the greatest empires in the face of the earth. Maybe even you can invest in smart work now that you have time and money on your hands.
I agree, Your Majesties. Great Britain is a mighty empire, but I've been hearing about some unrest in the 13 colonies.
Don't worry about those uneducated farmers in Americas. They don't want to mess with me. I'm too powerful for them. Think of it, the king should not have all the power, help, or prosperous.
I hope you are right, dear. Now that more and more common people are able to get their hands on these reading materials, the revolutionary ideas are spreading like wildfire.
Revolutionary ideas, ha. I want to see the Americans win a war against me.
Ouch, that almost hurt. I wonder if the force that pulled the apple to the ground is the same force that keeps our moon in orbit around the Earth. I think I'll use that grand fellow, Copernicus, and scientific method to test my theory. I'll first state the problem, then gather information and form a hypothesis. I will perform experiments after recording data and state a conclusion. Who knows, maybe I'll even form a type of math called calculus.
But Dad, why do we have to leave the farm?
I told you, we're moving to the city to find jobs in the factory. Your sister has been working there for several years now and says they could always use the help.
I'm not sure I'm going to like living in the city. Why don't we just stay on the farm? Improvements in agriculture. With all our machines, we can produce more with less people.
You're right. I know, son. You're right about the improvements in agriculture, but we just didn't own enough land. More land can be worked, but we just didn't have enough land to keep up. That's why I sold our land to our neighbor. He's buying up all the small farms in the area.
I'm not sure I'm going to like living in the city.
Don't worry about it, son. I hear conditions aren't the best and that things are crowded and dirty, but we will survive. If we stick together, we can fight for the wages and rights that are due to us. In the city, they're forming things called unions. A union is a group of people fighting for a common change. What I do know is Great Britain and other countries are fighting each other to make colonies around the world.
Well, why would they do that?
They need raw materials for the factories. More factories are being built, so I know we should be able to find a job somewhere. I hear the sun never sets on the British Empire because it has grown so big. European colonies are following the policy of imperialism.
What is imperialism?
Imperialism is countries like Great Britain fighting other countries and turning them into colonies.
But is that right for them to do that?
I don't know if it's right, but it has to be done to get raw materials for the factory. But just don't worry about it, son. If we stick together, we'll be fine.
Scene 5 and 6, Imperial Russia and the Russian History.
This is Tim Calloway for Tiger News. I have breaking news. Today, on the opening day of the 2008 Summer Olympics in Beijing, China, we have reports that Russia is invading Georgia.
Mom, the Russians are invading Georgia. The Russians are invading Georgia. What are you talking about? Who's invading where? The Russians are invading Georgia. My friend Lucy moved to Atlanta just last year. Do you think she will be okay?
Honey, Georgia is not the U.S. state of Georgia. The Russians are invading a former colony of Russia, which is also called Georgia.
Why would they do that?
Honey, Russia has a long and interesting history.
Can you tell me about it?
Well, the history is very long. How about if I highlight a few things instead? A long, long time ago, there was a group of people called Slavs. They used to live in an area we now call Russia. Eventually, Mongols came in and conquered them. Now, after the Mongols invaded, a prince named the Prince of Moscow made some clever agreements with the Mongols. What the Mongol didn't realize was that the Prince of Moscow was sneaky, and in the end, he double-crossed the Mongols and became sole ruler.
That wasn't very nice of him to do.
I know, dear, but people like to have power. What happened next was even worse. A man named Ivan IV became the leader of Moscow. He called himself Tsar, or Emperor of Russia. The people called him Ivan the Terrible because of the cruelty he inflicted on others. After his death, Russia entered a time called the Time of Trouble. It lasted about 20 years.
Is that why they invaded Georgia? Was there any time of trouble?
No, dear, that was a long time ago. After that trouble came a better time for Russians. Michael Romanov became the new Tsar of Russia, and the Romanov family ruled for the next 300 years. One of the great Romanov Tsars, named Peter the Great, came to power in 1693. Peter the Great wanted to westernize Russia.
What does westernize mean?
It means he wanted to make Russia more like Europe.
Why did he want to do that?
Well, Peter the Great thought the ideas and culture of Europe would benefit Russia, and it did. But just because Russia westernized didn't mean it was safe. In 1812, the French army under Napoleon invaded Russia.
Did Napoleon want all the power like the Prince of Moscow?
Yes, he did, but he wasn't successful. He underestimated the winters in Russia, and Napoleon lost up to 90,000 soldiers.
But at least the Russians won. I guess that is good.
I'm sure it was, but like I've said before, sometimes those in power do not make the right decisions. The final Romanov Tsar was named Nicholas II, and he came to power in 1894. When Nicholas II came to power, there was a lot of tension between the many poor people of Russia and the landowners. In 1905, thousands of workers in St. Petersburg marched to the Tsar's winter palace. They wanted to talk to the Tsar about reform. Unfortunately, the Tsar's troops fired into the crowd of workers, killing hundreds. This became known as Bloody Sunday.
Yuck, Bloody Sunday, how awful.
It gets worse. Tsar Nicholas and his family ended up being executed during the Russian Revolution. He was the last of the Romanov Empire. What happens next changes Russia's history and the lives of its people forever.
What was that?
A man named Vladimir Lenin came to power. Vladimir Lenin was a revolutionary, meaning he had ideas that could cause the overthrow of a government. Lenin established something called a communist government.
Communist government?
No, a communist government. A communist government is a political system in which the government owns farms, factories, and offices. This means no one person can own their factory or land. Each person is supposed to work and share equally in the rewards of the work.
I think that sounds like a great idea. If everyone shares equally, then there wouldn't be rich and poor. Everyone would be equal.
Yes, that is how it's supposed to be. But Lenin broke his promise to the people. In the end, the government kept the power and wealth to itself. This ends up leading to a civil war in Russia.
We had a civil war in the United States, didn't we?
Yes, we did. A civil war is when two sides in a war are from the same country. The Russian Civil War lasted 3 years and the communists won. In 1922, Lenin created the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, the USSR. This is where Georgia comes in.
Finally, I never thought we would get to it.
Georgia was a republic that was put under Soviet control even though it was not Russian. They had to do what Lenin said.
How could they do that?
Lenin jailed or even killed people who opposed him, so people were afraid to speak out. Eventually, Lenin died in 1924, but things didn't get better. The next leader, Joseph Stalin, tried to control all aspects of a citizen's life. Stalin forced Ukrainian farmers to give all their goods to feed factory workers. Farmers who grew the food ended up dying from starvation under Stalin. Those who opposed Stalin were sent to a very cold and harsh area of Russia called Siberia. The people of Russia lived in terror of Stalin.
I'm glad I didn't live at that time. I don't think I would like Stalin either. Who would want to be his friend?
Well, actually, we did.
Who did?
The United States. In 1939, Stalin signed an agreement with Germany that they would not go to war against each other, but Hitler broke his promise and invaded Germany. The USSR then became an ally of the United States. The USSR eventually captures Berlin, and the Allies win the war.
How come the news today said that Russia invaded Georgia and not the USSR invaded Georgia?
Russia's history can be very complicated, can't it? Well, we were friends, but after the war, things became complicated. Both the United States and the Soviet Union were superpowers. The U.S. helped Western Europe to rebuild after the war. They let the Western European countries govern themselves. After the USSR invaded Eastern Europe, they wouldn't leave. The Soviet Union wanted to spread the idea of communism throughout the world, even to countries only 90 miles from our border. The U.S. disagreed with this idea. Eventually, this led us into a Cold War with Russia.
A Cold War?
Yes, a Cold War is when there is actual fighting, but there is very high tension. Both sides had powerful nuclear weapons that could cause great damage. Eventually, tensions lessened. Recent Russian leaders gave the people more powers in their lives. Once people have freedoms, they want more. Finally, in 1991, the USSR and communism falls.
So that is why Russia invaded Georgia and not the Soviet Union?
Yes, we now call Russia the Russian Federation, and obviously, as you listen to the news today, things aren't perfect, but we can keep trying.
Thanks, Mom, for telling me about the history of Russia. It really was an interesting story. I just hope that the leaders today aren't like some of those in the past.
Me too. I guess time will tell.